Okay, hello to everyone. We are going to start our special conference, and today we have a unique conference with a special, actually author, a special native speaker, and her name is Theresa Snyder, and she is going to introduce herself soon. So guys, I hope that you have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee like me here, cheese, and you are comfortable, and we are going to have a very interesting conference. So let's start. Are you ready? Please let me know if you can hear me. Please somebody please write on the chat if you can hear me. Yes, thank you, Kwang. I can hear you. Thank you, Domenico. Great. Okay, great. So let's start. So what we are going to have today? What is going to be on this conference? Okay, so as I said, the first thing that we are going to do, I'm going to introduce myself, and after that Theresa is going to introduce herself. Then we are going to speak about why is it so important to read native speakers books. I'm going to show you here a video, a special video, and then we will start the interview with Theresa, and after that, presents. Who don't like presents? I I know that everyone would love to get presents. So Theresa actually so kind, and she is going to give you a present, and after that you can just ask questions. Okay, pay attention please, guys. You can ask questions here on the chat, okay, and only at the end of the interview I'm going to pick some questions and ask her, and if you are brave and and you want to speak and to ask yourself, please write me on the chat. If you really want to speak with Theresa, I'm going to give you the opportunity, like the mails that I promised, that you will have the chance to speak. Theresa, I'm going to open your microphone and you can ask her questions. It's going to be in the 10 last minutes of this interview, okay, on this hour. All these things, all this conference is going to take 1 hour, and at the last part we are going I'm going to open your microphone and you can ask her questions. Okay, so this is what we are going to do today. It's going to be very interesting. You have also presents, so it's really worth it to stay at the end. Okay, let's start. I'm going to tell a little about myself in case that you don't know me. So I'm married with a beautiful girl. You can see her here on this picture below. What am I doing? My business is to lead business owners to attract customers from Facebook and to increase their incomes. And on the free time, I like to dance. I'm also teaching dancing. I surf on the sea. You can see pictures here. And skiing on the snow. And I really like to read personal development books. This a little bit about myself. And we are going now to meet Theresa Snyder, a great author, and I'm going to open your microphone, Theresa, so be ready. Okay, you are on. Hello, Theresa, how are you?
Hello. Your music was very inspirational.
Yes, I know. This is the kind of music I like, the inspired one.
Great. Well, I'm an author, and I live in Oregon. I've lived here the longest I've ever lived any place in my life because I moved 34 times in the 61 years I've been here on the earth. I come from a really huge family. I have 2 natural brothers, and then I have 23 foster and adopted brothers. So there was never less than 10 of us in the house at one time, which was kind of interesting. It made for being able to coexist peacefully. Otherwise, Mother had something to say about that. And now, though, it's just Dad and I. I have an 87-year-old father, and we have a cat. We can count the cat. And I work at the local print shop to the community college. So I not only write, but I also print up things for other people.
Great. How long are you writing?
I've been writing all my life, really. When I was younger, my mom said she spent more on stamps for me than she did anything else because I had 36 pen pals. I used to write them. I mean, that was back in the days of snail mail, right? And I wrote my first novel when I was a young kid, about middle school, about 13 or so. Wrote it on the bleachers of the school on my recesses, and it was called The Fifth Beatle, about an additional group in the Beatles group, you know, an additional guy. But my real first novel was written in 1990, and it's posted on Amazon, and it's called The Hellavite War. It's first in a series of science fiction books.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. We are going to speak a lot about your writing in the continue. But first, thank you, Theresa, for the introduction. We are going on, guys, and I want to show you very important video and to see actually why is it important to read native speaker books like as Theresa, okay, Theresa books. And I want to ask you a question, guys. I don't know if all of you learning the program of the AJ program. And do you remember AJ rule number 6? Okay, so I guess you're not. And I'm going to show you anyway what is it the rule number 6 of AJ. So let's see. It's only 2 minutes. Okay, let's see. Rule number 6.
Hi, it's AJ, and welcome to rule number 6. So what's number 6? Number 6 is this: only use authentic, real English materials. What does that mean? Well, put another way, don't use textbooks. I talked about this already when I was talking about throwing away your grammar books. But really, you need to throw away all of your textbooks. All of them. Get rid of them. They're horrible. They're boring. You know they're boring. They're useless. You know, get rid of all the grammar textbooks, all those with the little fake conversations in them and all the nice little graphics and pictures they put in to try to make them seem interesting when in fact it's really boring. Because what do those textbooks really have? They got a bunch of fake conversations with boring actors reading them. And then they have a bunch of little boring activities and drills that are supposed to help you improve your communication. It's all bad. It's not going to help you. What you need to do instead is use only authentic, real English materials. What does that mean? Well, when I say real, here's what I mean. I mean, the best materials are the ones that are for native speakers. In other words, books and audios and videos that are made for Canadians, Americans, British people, Australians. They're not made for foreigners learning English. They're made for the people actually living in those countries. That's a real, authentic material, book, CD, video, whatever.
Okay, so this was our great teacher and actually a great leader in my point of view. And you see that it is very important to learn authentic native speaker books, and that's why actually Theresa with us. You have here 2 in 1 because you are going to listen native speaker. It's like audio, okay, audio CD. You are going to listen and you have the opportunity also to read, but I'm not going to tell you how it's going to be. So let's start on the interview. Okay, Theresa, are you with me?
I am. I'm right here.
Okay, great. So I will show the presentation again, and we are going to continue. By the way, Theresa, what do you think about this video?
I think it's inspirational also. He's a very good speaker, and I think what he has to say is very important because that's how we as Americans, native English speakers, learn, is just by reading and studying over and over again. So practice makes perfect, as they say.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so the first question is, do you write full-time or do you still hold down a day job?
I still have a day job, 8 to 5, work in the print shop. I'm actually called the scheduler, so that means all the jobs come through me. I help people figure out how they want to lay their job out, if it's a program or if it's a poster or if it's tickets for a concert or something like that. We do books too, coil bound and perfect bound. And then I write every time that I can squeeze it in. I write at lunchtime, I write in the evenings, I write in the early mornings before I go to work. Yeah, I'm pretty much obsessed.
Do you write all the time? Right, you don't need to have the mood of writing, the inspiration of writing. How is it in your case?
Oh yeah, I think you do. I journal all the time. My mom taught me to keep a journal of my thoughts, and it helps me work through everything. I mean, it helps me work through excitement, anxiety, stress, by writing down what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling at the time. So a lot of things progress out of that, or even I do a lot of chatting on Twitter, and a lot of people will ask me questions about my writing or my books or my characters, and sometimes an idea for a book will stem from that. For instance, my dragon, Farloft, the one that hopefully you folks will want to read, him how he met me. And he said, well, it was a really long story, and he'd have to tell him later that he couldn't put it in 140 characters. And so that's what the next book is about. That's what I'm writing currently, is how he initially met me.
Okay, great, great, interesting. Okay, so tell us about your writing.
So these are the new covers for the books that are currently online. So when you go online on Amazon, on Kindle, under my name, you'll see the Farloff Chronicles, but until the end of the month, they'll have the old covers on them. But these are new designs by a young lady named Sarah Hinshaw, and she's just fantastic. I really like her. The dragon in the middle there, the green one, that's Farloff, and then Clear Air is the blue one. She's his mate, and Thrax is the red one, and Thrax is an evil dragon who comes to make trouble.
Okay.
The books are originally written for middle school, 9 to 13-year-olds, but I'm finding that the people on Twitter, the adults, really enjoy him. He's a teacher. He tells a lot of philosophical stories, and there's a definite thread of a story through each one of the books. They each have a conclusion to them, so it's not like you have to read them all, or that you have to read them in order even, but if you read them in order, and they're all numbered right at the bottom there above my name where it says the Farloff Chronicles, if you read them in order, then the characters progress more and they build more.
Okay, you told us that the books is for children, yes?
Yes, for 9 to 13-year-olds, which would be considered middle school here in the United States.
Okay, and the adults also can read it, or it's only for children?
Oh, no. In fact, I'm having more adults reading them than I'm having middle school reading them. It's funny because the adults read them themselves and like them so well that then they might read it to their children. But he's a really interesting character, Farloff is, and I think everybody finds him appealing.
Okay. Okay, so what genre would you say your writing is?
Well, I'm kind of an unusual writer because I write many different genres. I write the fantasy ones about Farloff. Then I have a series of science fiction books that are for young adult to adults. So that would be anywhere from 13 on up, okay? And they're character-driven science fiction. They don't have a lot of technology in them because I wanted to keep that as a background thing and not a major thing for the books. I wanted the characters to be the major motivating force in them. Then I have a new paranormal that I just put on that's about a shapeshifter. He shifts from wolf to human and back again, and he has a little bit of difficulty because his girlfriend likes him better as a wolf than she does as a human. And then I have one memoir, which is about my parents and I, and me taking care of them because my mom was ill and she lived with me for 15 years, she and my dad, and now I still have my dad 17 years later. And it's a very uplifting book, but if somebody has older parents or knows their parents have their grandparents that they're taking care of, they might enjoy that book because it's all about dealing with a multi-generational family in one house.
Okay, and how did you decide to write only on this genre?
Well, you know, it's not for certain that that's the way it's going to stay. The paranormal came up during Christmas time. I was talking to another author, and 4 other authors and I got together and decided to write in this one setting called The Realms, and we invented this whole kind of world that we were going to write in. And so there's 5 of us that are writing, and I had never written anything paranormal before, nothing about vampires or werewolves or anything like that. But then I really got into this. I really enjoyed it. So now I think it's going to be a trilogy at least.
Really? Okay. Okay, the next question. What inspired you to start writing?
Well, like I said before, I've been writing almost all my life, but the major reason that I wrote the book in 1990, the very first science fiction, The Hellavite War, was that, okay, this is secret time now. I used to tell myself stories when I was a kid. I had a set group of characters, but they did all kinds of different things, and I usually told myself stories before I went to bed at night.
Really?
And they were all in my head, although sometimes I'd say them out loud. Yeah, I was weird. I was a weird kid. And so when in 1990, I broke my foot. I broke it really bad, really bad. And the doctor said that there was a direct correlation of me staying off it and it healing, how fast it would heal. So he said, you know, you go to work, you come home, you put your feet up. And so I bought myself a word processor and I wrote the first book about those characters that I'd been thinking about all those years. And that's how I started.
Wow, I have to say you are a special. You were a special kid.
Yeah, I was different. Well, with all the boys in the house, you know, and being the only girl, I spent a lot of time in my head.
Yes. How old have you been when you start doing this?
Oh, when I was younger, I mean, just telling myself stories and everything, I can't remember a time I didn't do it. I honestly can't.
Okay.
So, but actually writing my very first novel was 1990. And I think when people read those, they'll find that I wrote one a year for the first 6 years. So from 1990 to 1995, I wrote a volume every year. And I think they'll see the progression of me as a writer if they're interested in observing that and reading that. Because in the first one, I'm a lot more technical and I'm not as free with the dialogue. And then to the second one, then it comes a little bit better. The third, I was told by a beta reader, that's somebody, you know, who reads your books ahead of time before they're published. He said that if I thought I found my voice, my writer's voice in the third book, that I really learned to sing by the fourth. So that made me feel good.
Yes, indeed. Okay. How has writing changed your life?
I don't know that writing's changed my life because I've been doing it so long, but the thing that has changed is getting myself published. My writing group asked, well, they actually told me, they said, you need to get published, Theresa. You've written all these books and you keep coming to our meetings and bringing all this good writing stuff for us to read, and you're not published. You need to do something. And I said, well, you know, I don't know how to do it. And they said, well, we'll do it for you. So one of my friends actually formatted all the books for me, and I put the first one on Kindle May of last year. And my goal was to have all 12 that I had written up by the end of the year, which I accomplished, and since then also put the paranormal up. So I have 13 of them on there. And that is what's really changed my life, because once you get the books up there, it's no good for them to just sit there. You have to somehow tell people that they're there. Go, read them, please, review them. We love reviewers. And so I got on Twitter, and that's what's changed my life. I mean, I get up probably 2 hours early in the morning so that I can just tweet and say hi to everybody, because I am quite gregarious. I love to talk to people. And then at night when I get home, I tweet. At lunchtime, I tweet. On my breaks, I tweet. I really should probably have wings.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you want people to know most about you?
I'd like them to know that I really love writing books, and I really like feedback. So if you go at the last slide that you're going to show is going to be my website, my Twitter account, my Facebook account, all of that. If people just save that and get on the blog and read it, right now I'm posting my latest draft of my 7th science fiction. So you read it there, you'll see like the growing process of a writer, because it's not finished. I mean, I'm still going to take it back once I finish posting it there and interweave it and change things, and then the thing that goes up on Kindle will be a whole different animal than what's on there right now. But you can leave little comments. There's stories, there's science fiction, there's fantasy, there's some poetry even. Oh my goodness, my poetry is like Hallmark. It's horrible, but I post it anyway.
Okay, so okay, I see that Max is applauding you. Okay, so how would you like that people will show Theresa, okay, as a good person, or who like people, like you said? That's it? There is something else?
I think I would like to be remembered as somebody that people read, enjoyed conversing with. I kind of consider myself a part of Farloft, my dragon. I think I'm kind of a teacher because I'm older, I've been around a little bit longer, and I love imparting knowledge on people. So it's nice to chat because people always have questions, and it's nice to try and fill them in from my point of view of, well, I experienced this, you know, I have a story for everything.
Okay, great. And tell me, what message do you want to give to the nation by your writing?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I think the basic thing is all of my books have very devoted characters that really care about each other, that are loyal, that have very close friendships. And so I would say that it would be that you need to be kind to your fellow man, that you need to be more tolerant, that you need to be more understanding.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. It's very important things. Okay, so let's go to the next question. It's a funny one.
Oh, that's a good one.
If you were a dragon, okay, yes, you're right, you're writing about dragons, okay? So what kind of dragon would you be?
Well, if I were, and I am a little bit, a part of Farloft, that's who I would be. He's old, he's wise, he really values his family and his friendships, and he's fun, and he's big, and he's green, and nobody would mess with him. So, and he likes to hum, which I like to hum. He likes to hum and doodle occasionally. He's not a very good artist, but he does like to doodle. So, yeah, I'd be Farloft.
Farloft. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Can anyone write, or do you need special skills? I can write too. People here can write too.
Oh, sure. I don't think you need special skills. I think what you need is practice. You know, if you read my first science fiction book, it's not near as good as the third one, and the third one isn't near as good as the sixth one. And it's the same with the fantasy. You read the first fantasy, it's a good book, but by the time you get to the fifth one, even my readers say, oh my goodness, they just keep getting better and better and better. And it's because you just practice more. You just need to do that, not only in writing, but also in speaking, like what you're trying to do here, you know, is learning how to speak it properly. When I first saw your video that introduced this conference room, I noticed a decided difference between your English then and your English that you're speaking now. You're much better. And you told me you did that, what, a year ago? I mean, you've really vastly improved in a year.
Wow, thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, you're right. It's actually practicing a lot, and that's what am I doing with my group, practicing here in the conference. So you said that anyone can write. What was your step, your first step of writing? How did you start to write? What you start to write? Stories in your life. I can write anything I want and put it on the maybe on my desktop, on my desk, and to have this kind of papers, and then I'm going to do and to do a book.
I think a good thing to do is to buy a journal. They're really inexpensive. You know, everybody, you know, I think all the different nations have them. And just start writing your thoughts, because that's the thing that's closest to your heart. That's the thing that you can express usually the easiest, is what you're really thinking yourself, rather than trying to make up a story of, oh, well, this dragon did this. You know, it's better. The things that I got published first were the stories about Mom and Dad and I, because they were originally published in the local newspaper as a human interest column. Because I saw a lot of my friends inheriting their parents because their parents had gotten old, because I'm a baby, what they call a baby boomer. I don't know if they have those over there in your country or not, but there were children that were born after World War II. You know, all the guys came home and went, whoopee girls, you know, and so we had a lot of babies, you know, and so those babies are all ending up with their parents being elderly at the same time, and no one had anybody to talk to about the fact that, oh, my mother broke her shoulder and she lives at home, and how do I take care of her, you know, that kind of thing. And so that's what my column came out of, is trying to pass on the knowledge of, look, I've got a mom and a dad, and my mom is really ill, and my dad is functioning pretty well, so I'm dealing with both genders. I'm dealing with one that's really ill and one that's not too bad, and so this is what I'm doing. And so, like I said, if you write about what you know initially, rather than trying to make it up, then it'll be easier for you, I think.
Okay, so what you are saying is actually if I want to write a book, I can start with the first step, to actually writing my thoughts, and put it and collect all the papers that I wrote my thoughts, and to start to make it for a book. Or yes, this is the direction to write my thoughts.
You can, yeah. I just buy, there's little journals that are blank, and I just write in those. I probably have one handy here, but it's just a blank book, and every day I sit down, I talk about things that have happened in my garden, because I garden. I talk about things that Dad and I have talked about. Just thinking through thoughts, you know, how exasperated I am with a certain printing project. So anything like that, you know, because when you're writing that down, you become more precise on how you're expressing something. For instance, I might look at a cloud formation and just try to think of, how would I tell somebody how that looks if I wrote it down on a piece of paper instead of taking a picture of it with my cell phone. You know, do I say it's fluffy? Do I say the clouds are streaked across the sky? Do I say that the clouds, you know, are like little balls of cotton? Do I say they look like the flowers on the flowering plums during the spring? How do I express what those clouds look like? And that helps you get that visual down so that it works better for you.
Wow. Okay, it's very, very interesting what you are saying, and I see it as a big challenge to start to write my thoughts and to be, creative, to see pictures and to start describe it on with words. I think it's a big challenge, don't you think?
I think it is, but you have to start someplace, and I think that's the place because that's private for you, and it helps you establish priorities in your life because when you write things down, you really realize how stupid some things are when you write them down and you reread them again. It's like, oh, did I really think that? So I think it helps you work your way through things mentally too.
I agree. I totally agree. Okay, so as a native speaker, what tips can you give us to improve our English?
Just speaking it more. If you can find people like these chat rooms where you can come and you can talk to each other, and I'm hoping that because I joined the group, I can maybe drop in occasionally and chat with you, because then that way you can, if you don't mind, I can make suggestions on how things are phrased, because you have a great grasp for the individual words. The only thing that's different is the phraseology, because you're translating it from whatever language you're using to English, and it doesn't translate quite right. So if you can just learn the pattern of the words, then I think you'll sound to yourself and to us more like you're speaking the English as a native language.
Wow. Yes, I agree. I agree with you totally. And of course, you're welcome to come here and practice with us anytime. It would be honor to have you in our conference. And yes, I agree. Guys, you heard her. Come to practice on the conference. It's going to improve your speaking, and you can have the example like Theresa. I since I have been starting having these conferences, I improved my English a lot, but still it's not perfect. I I admit, but it's really helped. Thank you very much, Theresa. Okay, so it's a present time.
Yay!
Ta-da! So, guys, I know that who don't like presents? Anyone likes presents, no? So, Theresa, what is your present?
Well, what I'd like to do is at this website, which you can go to the main website, which is theresasnyderauthor.com, which is a little bit easier than all of this gobbledygook we've got on the screen here. But on Farloff's blog, which is the Farloff's Rhetoric, he has a free audiobook. And what we were thinking, Noam and Max and I, were that you could get on, you could download the free audiobook, or you can just listen to it on your computer, but you can also put it on your phone, your smartphone, or you can put it on your tablet. And then you could go to Amazon.com on the Kindle site and put my name in, and you could download the same book, which is James and the Dragon, in the written form. And then you could have the written form in front of you as you're listening to the audio book, and you could read along so that you could hear the correct pronunciation of each of the words, plus see them in print. And we thought that might be helpful.
Okay, great. It's a great present. Actually, I can hear it anyway from my iPhone, and it's great. Okay, I can't find this link. Theresa, can you share it with us? This link?
Sure. This is my main website.
On the chat, please share with us your links. Okay. Meanwhile, I'm going to give you another present, guys. In case you don't know me and you are not in our Facebook group, this is the link to join our Facebook group. You are welcome to come and to practice with us and to improve our English. When you are going to sign up, you are going to get mails from me, and I will tell you exactly when and where we are going to have conference. So you are welcome to sign up here and join us to practice. Okay, I see that Theresa shared the link, and okay, I see it's on this website, the audio, Theresa?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It certainly is.
Okay, great.
And then all the other books, all of the other, all my social links. If you want to join me on Twitter, if you want to talk to Farloff once you've read his book, you're welcome to drop in. His next time that he talks is the 28th. He actually has a personal best of 22 hours and 576 tweets. So he goes all day long on the days that he tweets. So it'll be the 28th Pacific Standard Time from midnight until the following midnight.
Okay, great. So guys, you can see right now the website of Theresa. She also shared the link and the Twitter account. You can contact with her, and the Amazon books. Okay, the link. Okay, now guys, I'm going. Yes, Theresa, do you want to add something about this?
Oh, I was just going to say that the book link is for all the books. So the science fiction, the fantasy, the paranormal, I think all would be appropriate for anybody that's reading English at least, I'd say maybe 4 or 5 years, depending on how fast you've progressed in it. But, and there might be some of the other people that are listening in, like Max, who's read them, who might have an idea on that too. But I think once you've read and listened to the first Farloff book, that the other 4 that are on there, and soon to be 5, would be just fine and easy for you to comprehend once you've heard the pronunciation of the different characters' voice names and such.
Okay, great, great. Okay, so you heard for Theresa. You can go and to download the audio book from her website. And now, questions, guys. Let's see what you're writing here. What are your questions? And guys, this is the time if you want to ask questions, to ask Theresa a question, and you want me to open your microphone, just write yes or okay, or just write yes and I will open your microphone. Okay, Kwang, I see, great.
Hi, Kwang.
Okay,
are you there?
I'm going to open your microphone. Okay, Kwang, you are on. Kwang?
Hello?
Kwang?
There he is.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hi, how are you?
Oh, thank you. Hi, guys. Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. And are you? I think that you are very, very good.
Oh, thank you.
First, thank you for your sharing about your life and about your writing career. So I don't want to take a lot of time. I just want to ask you one of my questions.
Yes.
Is that how much time do you use every day to write?
I usually write on the weekdays when I have to work from 8 to 5. I usually write a good 3 hours. So an hour or two in the morning and then another hour or two in the evening. But I'm not one of these people that I think you have to produce a certain amount of words per day, because the stories flow for me, and sometimes they flow really fast. Like the paranormal that is posted now, it's something called a novella, which means that it's 15,000 words or less, okay? And that one just happens to hit 15,000 words. And I wrote it in 20 hours. 20 hours. I kept track of my time. And so it flowed really fast because I knew exactly where I was going with it at the time. I was really motivated, and I thought, okay, this is the next scene, this is the next scene, and it just flowed through my, it was like channeling. But some of them are harder, like the science fiction that I'm writing now on the blog. It has been in the works for almost a year and a half now. And so it's something that takes more integration, and it's harder because it's a full-length novel.
Yeah, thank you. So can I ask the next question?
Sure.
Yes, you can ask another question, Kwang.
So, as you said that you write many kinds of novels, right? So it's my question that do you write one novel or several novels at the same time?
Oh, no, I couldn't write several at one time. No, I just one at a time. But I'm that way with books, too. I can't read 2 or 3 different books at one time. I take one, and I just speed right through it, and then I go on to the next one. So there might be authors that write a couple of different ones at the same time, but I could never do that. I have to, the only way that I might say that I would do that is my blog always has a story running on it. It might be science fiction, it might be fantasy, whatever, because that's the kind of blog it is. It's not like my cat did this cute thing on Friday, you know. It's more story-oriented. And so I do have it running all the time while I'm writing something else. So I guess you could say that I'm writing 2 things at once. But the blog is so different that I really put it in a category all its own, because I write on it Wednesdays and Saturdays. I always write in the evening. I always write, you know, from like 6 until 8 on it. So it's more like doing homework.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
so,
thank you.
If you don't mind, guys, can I ask more question? Just one more question. This one.
Okay, okay, the last one.
Okay.
Yes.
How much? Okay, how much time does one novel take you to finish it?
Novels usually take me about 3 months to write. And then it'll take me another couple of months to totally go through it and edit it. You tend to read what you think you wrote rather than what you really wrote, so you don't catch all your little typos and anything that will go through the spell check but is still wrong. Like you put in your, Y-O-U-R, so that's your piece of paper. But you really meant you are, Y-O-U apostrophe R-E, you are going to do something. Then those kind of things will go through spell check, and you'll read them wrong, and you'll leave them. So that's the reason you have to have a beta reader, somebody who's really good at picking those things up. And I have a really good beta reader that helps me.
Oh, thank you, thank you. So it could be my last question. If someone don't ask, so I will cut it. I will ask you more.
Okay,
thank you.
Kwang, thank you
Take
very
care.
much. It was good to see you, by the way. And we are going to the next question. Okay, I see that. Okay, I just right. Okay, I see that you wrote here a lot of questions. Okay, Domenico is asking. I see that. Wow, it's a lot of questions here. Guys, if you want to ask, if you want me to open your microphone, please say yes, and I'm going to open your microphone. Domenico is asking, which is the main difference? Oh, it's just dropped down. Which is the main difference in writing for different type of readers? Which is the main difference in writing for different type? Yes, Theresa?
I think when you write for someone who's middle school, like the fantasy books, you need to realize that you don't want to discuss sex in detail, obviously. You don't want to have a lot of violence, and you want to keep the vocabulary so that the middle schoolers can understand it. When you get into young adult reading, like the science fiction is, then you can progress a little bit further. They even have a category for young adult that is a little bit more wild, that might discuss, like teenage pregnancies, or it might, discuss something like drugs. So you need to know what your audience is, and you need to realize that you don't want to overstep those boundaries. For instance, when I wrote the latest fantasy book, I do have the dragon gets pregnant. One of the dragons gets pregnant. And when I gave it to my beta readers, they said, oh, we've got kids the age that'll read this, and you're being way too graphic here. They're going to be worried about their moms. And so I really went through and I cut a lot of it out and just made it that, oh, she was kind of big, because she was carrying a pup, this kind of thing. But I didn't originally I talked about them being fearful, that it had claws inside her, and they said, oh no, you can't have claws inside the mom, So you have to have people that are aware of that too. It helps to have people that have children the right age.
Okay, Domenico, I hope that you got this answer. I see that Maria is asking, Noam, how did I find Theresa? Okay, okay. Maria, I actually found Theresa for Max. Max actually connected between me and Theresa, and Max is actually an old friend. It is on the line, and I see that Max ask here a lot of questions, so I'm just going to open your microphone.
That might be easier.
Yes. It's easier than to search all your questions and to read it. So please, you're on the line. Max. Okay.
There he is. Hi,
wow.
Max. Oh, you got the cover of the
Hello.
So that's the old cover of the book. Yeah, hi, Max.
Wow, Max is a big fan.
That'll be the one that you will see online.
Yes.
Hello. Yes, that was the whole one. The new one, perhaps we saw here in this conference is one of the preview that Theresa gave us. So I don't want to steal you too much time, but I wanted to thank you, Theresa, for coming here, for joining this conference, and want to provide us this technology that is working really very well, thank God. We work a lot on it.
Thank you.
It's working very well. Theresa knows.
Yes, thank you, Max.
Okay. Anyway, now one of my questions, some of the questions that I put into chat, you already answered them, so I don't want to repeat them. But I would like to know one of the most silly question that I wrote was, can you tell us what is the favorite food of Farloff?
Farloff loves elk. you know, I mean, he is a predator, and so the elk are pretty darn big, and they satisfy his appetite. And we have a lot of them here in Oregon, and in his world, because, you know, he travels between here and there, he has access to them also.
Okay, great. Can you say that the last novel that you wrote is for elder people, for people older than the target of the Pharaoh Chronicle?
Oh, yes.
The language is a bit more brackets rude in terms of yeah, more for older teenagers perhaps and adults, if I can say so. Perhaps I say that I love all your books, but the last one obviously was closer than my liking. Not because the other one were not good. I love the Pharaoh Chronicles, and I even like the sci-fi novels that actually were the first one I read. I met you reading sci-fi, the sci-fi novel, yeah. But the last one perhaps is more, yeah, is more for adults.
Definitely, it definitely is, and the reason being is because I didn't censor it at all. I mean, you don't have a lot of sex in it because I'm just not that kind of writer. But the thing is that I could have the demon be very sexy, you know, she looks like a pinup girl, and I could have the boy who turns into the wolf and his girlfriend loves him as a wolf and doesn't know he's a boy necessarily, and so she's, you know, all lovey-dovey with him, and he loves being scratched and pet and sleeping on the end of her bed. So it is an adult book. It was written with someone 21 or older reading it. And it might even get a little more intense because I'm thinking that there might be a bit more violence in the next one because he lives in a violent world. You know, it's full of vampires and that kind of thing. So there might be a little bit more violence in the next one, but I'll never take anything really over the top because I'm not that kind of writer.
Okay, just last thing, I don't want to, I told you, bother you too much. But what is my experience about the audiobook? I obviously I downloaded it, and even if I discovered that it was online after I already read the book, so I reread the book, listening to it, and at the moment I'm using it. Perhaps I already told you, using that technique that is called the movie technique, but using for the book. So I'm dividing, I'm listening to the 2 or 3 pages every day, and I'm listening again as much time as I need to really understand and memorize the right pronunciation that the actor uses reading that pages. And this is working for me. Obviously, as well as no one, I'm not native, and this is understandable for everyone hears me because my accent is sometimes terrible. I just hope to be understandable, but I'm improving, and I think that this kind of books, mostly perhaps Pharaoh novels, are very, very useful for people like me who don't have, are not so good at English as well as natives, but because these books are for teenagers, are very, very good for us who have just started learning your language. And that's all. I don't want a chatterbox. I'm always saying, but a chatterbox, people are telling me, cut off.
Well, I think the audio is good because, for one, I had someone do it who was a radio announcer. So he has very good, precise pronunciation of the words, which I think is good. And the other thing is that I think that you all of you who are on this site and who belong to this group should be complimented, because I could not speak Italian, you know. I mean, I wouldn't even try. And my German that I learned when I was in, you know, high school and college has gone down the drain because I don't speak it anymore. And that's what you folks are really good at, is you're getting together, you're speaking it, you're working on it, and through that you're going to grow, and you're going to be fabulous in no time. I'm really pleased. I'm so proud of you all.
Thank you very much. And ciao.
Okay, thank you.
Ciao. That I got.
Okay, thank you very much, Max, for your questions. Guys, anyone else? Domenico, I'm going to thank you very much. Domenico, I'm going to open your microphone. You said that your microphone maybe it's not working, so I hope that it's going to work. Let's try. Okay. Domenico, are you with us? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, great.
But
There you are.
How are you?
sorry for the video. Fine, thank you. I have some questions. The first is, when you start writing, do you have a complete idea of the story, or it may change during the writing?
Oh, it always changes during the writing, because I never know what my character's going to do. I know that sounds silly, but they become an entity of themselves. And one of my favorite stories to tell is in my first science fiction book. I have a character named Jake, and he's a mercenary, and he's a person who battles for the right of everything, and he would never think of getting married. He's a man's man, you know, and all this kind of stuff. And toward about 3/4 of the way through the book, he met somebody named Margaret, who was a doctor. And all of a sudden, I'm writing a scene between him and her, and he proposes marriage to her. It was like, where did this come from? So by the end of the book, he's married to her. And it's like, okay, I'm going to have to write Margaret in all the time now. So no, I never know. I don't even outline books, really. I just sit down with a concept in mind, and I think I know how to get from point A to point B, but it might not make it there.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And just another thing, I was surprised when you told that you write every day and in every moment that you have, because I thought that you have to be focused on writing. How can I say? I thought that it was a very hard moment writing down something new, but I think that it's useful for me what you have said, that because even I can use this idea for improving my English. I thought that also improving my English could be hard, but if I try to do every day, in every moment, in every free moment, it could be useful for me. I don't know if it is clear, but okay.
Yeah,
so thank you very much.
No, Domenico, just a minute, don't go. Theresa want to answer your question.
No, I'm here.
Okay. Yes, Theresa, please.
I'm here.
So
I'm listening.
Well, the thing is that when you take a few moments to write, it doesn't have to be perfect every time you write it. Like I might scribble down an idea, but it's not fleshed out totally. It's not in the verbiage that the character would write it or would read it or would say it. But it's got the idea down for me to explore later. And when you read my books, you'll see that my chapters are very short. They're not long. Some authors write 20, 30-page chapters. Mine are 2 or 3 pages usually. 5 is going really long for me. And I write in episodic thoughts so that, you'll have a point of view for one character in this particular chapter, and then maybe you'll see the same scene from a different character's point of view in the next chapter. So I'm always thinking about different ways to phrase the look of a situation. So I think that writing, whenever you have an opportunity, I mean, there's sometimes that I'll actually, on my little 15-minute break, I'll just make some notes on the screen and print it out on my printer and take it home with me, and then sit down that night and flesh it all out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Does that help any?
Okay. Yes, it was very helpful for me. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon in our chat room.
Oh, that would be fun.
Okay.
Okay, ciao.
Thank you, Domenico.
Ciao.
Ciao. Okay, guys, do you have any questions? Because we are running out of time. Let's see on the chat. Okay, what about you, Avraham? Do you want to speak or to ask question? You are welcome. Please write me on the chat if you want to ask. And Kwang is asking, do you think about the idea of translating your novels into other languages?
I haven't thought of that, to tell you the truth. I do have a friend, Max and I have a mutual friend named Carla, who is a translator. And I could conceivably have her do it in Italian, but it's the expense of the thing, really. I mean, I kind of, like the rest of us, I live paycheck to paycheck. And so trying to find the money to put something like that together is difficult. For instance, the audio book costs $300 to be made, and I'm giving it away because I think it's just a great thing. It's something to pass around to get everybody interested in Farloff and to enjoy him and everything. But it is always an expense to do something like that. I noticed one of the questions on the chat said something about, let's see, where was it? It went away. It slid away from me.
Yes, when somebody just writes, so it goes down.
There it is. About sending it to friends to improve their English. You can gift any of the books to someone on Amazon. There's a button there that says a gift to friends, and I have given the book to people when they've won contests and things like that. And for 99 cents, it's a neat thing to give somebody who is trying to work on their English. And then you can also guide them to the audiobook as well so that they can read it together if they want.
What? It's only 99 cents? Theresa?
It's only 99 cents. Such a bargain.
$1.
Yes, it's only 99 cents. Less than $1 in U.S.
Definitely, it's a great present. Definitely. Yes.
Max was saying something about wanting a Farloff mug on that fanware there that you have on your PowerPoint there, the Zazzle.com Farloff's Hoard. If you want to, that's just a fun site that Sarah, the girl who did the covers, and I put together so that people can have T-shirts and sweatshirts and buttons and mugs that have Farloff on them. So then you have something to talk about when somebody said, oh, what's that dragon on your front? Oh, that's Farloff, the guy I'm reading about.
Yes. Max saying that he won them all. Okay. Okay, great.
I keep buying them and giving them away.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay. If there is no questions, and actually we are running out all our time, so Theresa, I just want to thank you about your time and for being with us and sharing your knowledge. It was honor to be with you and to interview you actually, and thank you very much, Theresa.
Thank you very much. I really wish you all the luck, and you're doing fabulous, and I hope I can come back and visit again.
Of course, we will talk about it. Of course. It would be honor, and we would be happy to have you here when you have time and to practice together, and it would be great. Thank you very much, Theresa. And guys, I want to thank you too for listening and for being with us. I don't know if you know, but I record this interview and I'm going to send it to you so you can also hear yourself speaking with Theresa, and and of course you can have it in your own and to see all this conference and all this interview in your spare time. So that's it. Thank you very much to all of you. Thank you very much, Theresa. It was great and interesting. Guys, applause to Theresa. Woo! Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Have a great day there and have a great night. Whatever, I don't know. And see you in the next conference, guys. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.